June 6, 1984. The Indian Army opened fire on the Akal Takht, the holy shrine inside the Golden Temple in Amritsar. One of the holiest sites for India's Sikh community. The mission was named Operation Blue Star. It was to capture and flush out Khalistani militants inside the holy site. The man they were looking for was Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, the leader of the Damdami Taksal, one of the main voices behind the Khalistan movement, the demand for a separate independent state. In 1982, Bhindranwale moved into the Akal Takht complex. This was to evade arrest from the authorities. In 1983, A.S. Atwal, a Sikh police officer, was shot outside the Golden Temple. The government feared that law and order was deteriorating, so in 1984 they decided to step in. Then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi called on the Indian Army. The plan was to send forces inside the Golden Temple to flush out Bhindranwale and his followers. On June 5th, the army surrounded the premises. They asked them to surrender. In the early hours of June 6th, the army moved in. The operation was met with fierce resistance, with gunfire echoing across the Golden Temple. Bhindranwale was found dead, reportedly in a heap of corpses in the Akal Takht. Meanwhile, hundreds of civilians were killed. 87 soldiers lost their lives. Parts of the temple were destroyed. The army's operation outraged Sikhs in India and across the globe, and it did have its consequences. It set in motion two major events that very year. The assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. She was killed by two of her Sikh bodyguards. Her assassination then triggered the anti-Sikh riots, where thousands of Sikhs were killed, one of the worst incidents of communal violence in India. It has been 39 years since Operation Blue Star, but the incident is still fresh in the minds of India's Sikh community.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.